Okay. I am presenting my diabetes registry database. I first created the database up here. I named it Registry, Diabetes Registry. I created a person table. You can see the values here, person table, glycemic control, which includes results from HbA1c results, glucose, alcohol intake, a coronary risk factors table, and let's go back. The coronary risk factors includes blood pressure, cholesterol, smoking, BMI, and heart rate, as well as a microvascular end organ disease, which includes microalbumin screening, monofilament test, and a dilated retinal exam for the eyes. So if we want to look at each individual table, let's start with the person table. So the person table, which is most important, you want to gather all the right demographic information. I made sure that they have a auto-generated person ID. Unfortunately, it starts with 2 because when I first did it, I guess I put Tom Brady twice. So I did delete the first one. So now my person ID starts with 2. 2 till 21. Make sure these all could not be null. First name, last name, date of birth, gender, age, and just a little bit about them, their address, city, state, zip. I don't know why my 0 is not showing. Their height and weight to calculate BMI and smoking status. After I put this table together, I realized probably BMI is more of a static field, so I should include it in this table instead, but it's in another table. So now let's get to our coronary risk data. And here's our table for this one. So for Tom Brady, the blood pressure, systolic and diastolic, I probably actually should reverse them because systolic is kind of the number above and diastolic is the one below. But I did give this table its own ID number to reference. And then this is in regards to person 2. The date their blood pressure was taken, everything was done on November 1st. I figure that's probably the 1st of the month is a good date to start collecting data. So for Tom Brady, he has 120/82. Total cholesterol is 175. He does not smoke, so that's a null value. I calculated the BMI and his heart rate at the time and the date it was done. So I have this data for our 20 people. And you'll see for smoking, I probably should put weekly, but like a pack a week, 5 cigarettes a week, 8 cigarettes, or 2 packs a week. Next, we have glycemic control. Let's move this up. I also had the primary key be the glycemic control ID, and then person ID I entered. And then we have the results of their labs, HbA1c results and the date, glucose results, and alcohol intake and the date that they consumed that alcohol. So for example, on November 5th, this person had 3 glasses of wine and 2 light beer. And then people that didn't drink are null values. Let's see. So all the dates I specified, like the columns are date columns and they all are November 1st. That results were done. The next table end organ disease, microvascular end organ disease. Here's our table. This also, the primary ID is the microvascular complication ID key here. It again relates to the person. And then these were the results of the microalbumin screening. The date it was done, again, I figured November 1st. Monofilament test results, the date it was done, whether or not they passed their eye exam. And I did just make it easy and had everyone pass that, and the date that the eye exam was done. So I figured this is kind of maybe the sample population would go into a clinic somewhere and they would just get all these lab results done on the 1st. And then certain things like when they were drinking, that's something that they tell us when their alcohol intake date is. So I just wanted to make sure that all the tables with data did link back to the person somehow. So person ID is very important. So all this information, say 6.3% for person 3, relates back to my third person, Bill Belichick. I found this, I got a little frustrated in the beginning again with kind of primary keys and foreign keys. So what I ended up doing was I didn't even do any linking to foreign keys. I did manually type in myself. So for example, let's go to my, oh, where is my actual diabetes information? Oops. I just want to show you what I did. I can't find it. Oh, here we go. So I got a little frustrated because I kept getting errors that I could not create it. So I have my person table, which is most important. That's where the person ID auto increments. And then I was able to do the person ID being the foreign key here, which referenced the person table. But I don't know what happened when I tried to add it to the coronary risk factors. It just wouldn't take, so I manually entered it for the coronary risk factors and the microvascular end organ disease. And this is my database. Here is the schema of it, which is actually pretty cool that I just spent the time and I built this, really. The data entry was a little tedious. It was only 20 patients, but kind of coming up with those results. But yeah, here is the different tables. And then within each table are the different columns that I specified. But it was definitely interesting to do and using all the skills we've learned in the past few weeks. Thank you and have a happy Thanksgiving. Let's see, stop recording.